Hello everyone and welcome back to the Magnus Invitational. We are continuing the match Fabiano Caruana versus Alireza Firouzja, and we are skipping game 2 and 3 as I don't know if I will have time to upload them. So basically what happened is that Fabi won game 1, it's the game we've seen, then Fabi also won game 2, and then Alireza strikes back in game 3. And now Alireza needs a win in this game to force Armageddon and to take the match into tiebreaks. So let's see what happened here. Fabi with the white pieces opens with d4. Sorry about that. We have knight to f6 by Firouzja, c4. We have g6, so the king's Indian defense is on the board. Knight f3 and bishop to g7. And here g3, preparing to fianchetto the light square bishop. We have castles and bishop to g2 now. We have d6 by Alireza and now castles. And here there are a lot of possible moves here. Very popular are knight c6, knight bd7, c6 is an idea. But here we have a knight to e4, which is a very rare continuation. So queen c2 goes after the knight immediately, and now Firouzja just cements it on e4 with f5. We have knight b to d2, now again challenging the knight, and here Alireza trades. We have knight captures, bishop captures, and then now e5. So it's not new, it has been played some 30 times, which is very little considering other variations are, there are over 3,000 games in the database regarding some other more popular variations. So d captures on e5, we have d captures and bishop to b4 now, attacking the rook here on f8, rook to e8, and the rook a to d1, developing with an attack on the queen, queen to f6, and here Fabi brings back the bishop to c3, where it will be much more useful. So knight to c6, continuing development, and now knight to e1. Here Fabi wants to get his bishop to d5, so for the moment he tucks the knight back into e1. And also Firouzja would like to start pushing those pawns, so he first needs to move the queen e7, and bishop to d5 with check. King h8, and now knight back to f3 by Fabi, as the bishop is now nicely placed on d5, so the e4 will not close it in on g2. We have knight to b4 now, attacking the bishop, but basically preparing c6 to get rid of the bishop. So queen b3. Now, if you capture, yes, you can capture the bishop, then white gets a very nice pass, not a pass pawn, but a very nice d pawn. So instead, we have knight to a6, just getting the knight out of the way and preparing to trap Caruana's bishop with c6. So here, Fabi has to go back, knight to e1, so the bishop can now retreat, but now e4, Firouzja doesn't let it retreat, and now again he's threatening c6 to win material. And it's very hard for Fabi to find a move here. How do you save the bishop? So here, this is what Fabi finds. Bishop captures on g7, queen captures, and now c5, freeing the c4 square for the bishop, and now c6. We have bishop back to c4, and now knight captures on c5, grabbing back the pawn. Attacking the queen a3, and now knight back to d7. So here Firouzja is up a pawn, and if he manages to develop his bishop and the two rooks, he should be okay. But it definitely is better now due to the being up a pawn. So knight to g2 by Fabi, and now knight to e5. Attacking the bishop on c4, centralizing the knight, bishop back to b3, and now b6, preparing c5, and then bishop to b7, and so on. So knight to f4, also an excellent square for Fabi's knight, but Firouzja doesn't give him a moment's breath, he just goes g5. Attacking the knight, knight to h5, attacking the queen, and now queen g6, going after the knight. And here is a very difficult position for Fabi. There's only one move that basically allows Fabi to continue the game, so I will ask you to pause the video here and find this move for Fabi while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting that, spotting that the knight in fact cannot be taken if you play the correct move. You can play something like g4, free the g3 square for the knight, give up a pawn, and continue playing this game, but that's not... that's basically resigned. So here what Fabi played is queen to d6, for those of you who just want to enjoy the show. Now the point is you cannot capture the knight because of queen f6 checkmate, as the bishop covers the g8 square, and there's no way to put anything in between the queen and the king. So this would be checkmate. So Firouzja just continues developing. Bishop to a6, goes after the e2 pawn. Rook f to e1 by Fabi, and here Firouzja trades queens. We have queen captures, rook captures, and now just rook 8 to d8. Again, going after the rook here. Rook to f6, going after the pawn, and now bishop to c8. Firouzja just defends it. Rook to d1 now offers a trade of rooks, and Firouzja goes for it. We have rook captures, and rook to d8 now, going after the bishop. Bishop back to b3, and now c5, preparing c4. And again, Fabi just finds a nice unique move to keep the game going. Bishop to d5, now offering the bishop obviously for a nice checkmate on f8 as the knight covers the g7 square. So instead Firouzja continues with c4. This knight is nicely protecting it, now wants to start further expansion on the queen side. So Fabi stops it with a4, and now comes bishop to d7 by Firouzja. Also possible is just a6 and you continue pushing on the queen side, but he goes for bishop to d7. He attacks the a4 pawn, but this gives Fabi an idea now, and Fabi plays f4. f4 is an attack on one of the defenders of the d7 bishop, the other one being the rook, of course. And here Firouzja has to play e captures f3 en passant. There's no other way around it, and go into this captures, and now you're going to grab your f5 pawn. So this is absolutely best for Firouzja. There is no other continuation for him. However, he played g captures on f4 instead, and this allows Fabi to just once again attack the defender of the bishop here. And there is not much for Firouzja to do now. He attacks the rook with knight g4, but now rook to d6. And now you cannot move the bishop as you would just lose the rook. So here knight e3 attacking the bishop here, but now just bishop to e6. And here it's time to resign for Firouzja. He did play rook to e8, one more move to try and maybe grab some material back, but after Fabi captured on d7, it was also in this position that Alireza Firouzja resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Once the bishop is captured, the knight still covers the g7 square, so rook to e8 will be rook to d8 will be checkmate, as there is no escape. So yeah, after rook captures on d7, Firouzja resigned, and another victory for Fabiano Caruana. If I manage the time, I will show either game 2 or 3 or both of them, as they were both decisive, and a very rare thing that we will have all 4 decisive games in a rapid match. But yeah, Fabiano wins the match 3-1, but Firouzja was extremely close to equalizing. Although objectively he was better throughout the entire game, Fabi just found some very, very unique moves which made it impossible for Firouzja to continue pushing for any advantage. And in the end, Fabi prevailed. But yeah, he's not the number 2 player in the world for no reason. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Jonathan Starr, Amir Rotem, Thomas Filardo, Eric Pilkington, and Calhan Cohane for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon with some more videos from the Magnus Invitational. And I will be covering it until it finishes. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.